Alright guys, today I'm going to talk about funneling and not just using wizards. So one thing that we're inefficient with is certainly how we are funneling these bases. We'll drop and spam a whole bunch of wizards where there's more efficient options out there if we were to just use a different troop. So I'm going to take a look at some of our war bases on scout mode. We're currently in a 10 versus 10 scrimmage versus ourselves, so looking at it without seeing the traps. So let's take a look at JC's base. So one of the things I'd look at is, in this day and age, where the air defenses are. So with this, I know that if I put a baby drag down here, I'm not going to encounter an air defense for a bit. So if I can get this engaged on something, or maybe even kill it with a balloon after I drop my baby drag, then my baby drag could really do some damage on, well, not that, on a lot of this stuff, because there's really nothing else to kill it until you get into range of these air defenses. So that's certainly one thing I would consider. Another thing I would consider is from 3 o'clock side to funnel. So if I wanted to come in from this side, well, there's no air protection out here as well. So a minion would be effective out here. You're out of range of the expo, the air defense, and the only first thing you have to worry about is the archer tower. So you could funnel these buildings for free without worrying about anything shooting them. So 3 minions can take care of that. So that's something to consider because that's a very cheap way to funnel. Obviously, if you're killing it with wizards, then that's only 1.5 wizards or 6 archers. So to get that sort of value, 3 buildings dead with only 6 troop capacity is pretty good. So I would take that. Just hypothetically, if I were to come in from this side, you'd have to use, let's say I'm using 2 golems. You'd anchor here because you have to be aware of outside buildings. So now you want to see, well, what buildings are shooting at my golems. So you're going to have that archer tower, which gives you clearance all the way to the edge because there's nothing else out there. So that's good. This would be the wall break spot. Bomber tower. Cannon would be locked onto a golem. Archer's locked onto a golem. There's really no expo to worry about. Hopefully you don't encounter that. And there's a cannon locked onto that golem that's on the mortar. So I could funnel probably all the way out here with my wizards. Wider the funnel, the better. I'd probably put a wizard there, and I might actually put a Valkyrie in here. The reason for that is buildings that are in like these crevices, like this mortar, are a pain to get to. Wizards have a really hard time doing it. So instead of investing a bunch of wizards to get these types of buildings, just drop a Valk in there, and it'll clear all this with that golem, and then hopefully draw that golem back into that wall break spot. So this is actually a big thing to look for when I make my bases. I like to put this building in those crevices and those L shapes as a gold storage or an elixir storage, something with heavy HP. They're really hard to funnel. So a lot of the times, like if I were to try and come in through here, you'll get troops that will get in and then they'll bounce back out to come and get that because it's not dead yet. So something to consider for sure. I'll run through like 5 of these bases and just kind of pinpoint, what I would funnel with, just kind of my thought processes if I were to attack these bases. So let's see what we got here. So decent value at 6 because those air defenses are set back. Other 2 are up here. So if I can get these archer towers shooting at something, then air out here is pretty effective. Baby dragon or minions. So maybe I tank here with golems. And then, check your perimeter. It's not going to be in range where I put it. Oh, it is. So one of the things I'm always trying to do when I put my golems down is direct them to that spot. So I would be trying to get my golem to go exactly to that spot because it's in range of that second archer tower. If it's a little bit to the right, then I'm not going to get it. If I go too far left, then I'm not going to be able to merge my golems back together. So that's a wall break spot. So I want the golem ideally to come back in here once I break the spot. So if I go too wide, like out here, then it's not going to make that trip back to the middle. Same thing over here. So that's always the goal with your golem placement. You want to maximize the amount of buildings that it draws the fire of, but only to the point where you can get them to merge back together to come in with your kill squad. So with this, now you want to scroll through, well, what's going to be shooting at me. So it's really 4-point defenses and that Expo's coming in on. You want to move quicker, so you want to make sure your funnel is set quickly and efficiently. But yeah, with this, I mean, it's an easy funnel. I can, get troops out here, maybe a couple more in here, and then send my kill squad up the middle. Not much to manipulate here because his air defenses, in terms of like minions and stuff, his air defenses are all towards the perimeter-ish, and if not the air defenses, then the archer towers definitely are. Sometimes you get these bases where they have nothing that's anti-air on an entire side of the base, so you can just let a baby drag or minions just run wild. Well, fly wild, I guess. Let me see if I can find a base where I would definitely want to use a Valk. Here we go. So, gold storage is on the perimeter. You definitely need to account for. Because if you just use wizards on like stuff like this, that's just asking for trouble. Because the wizards killing these buildings out here are going to be faster than the ones killing the heavy HP buildings. So you don't want, the rule of thumb with golems is you want them to still be golems as opposed to golemites when they are going into the wall. So you don't want them to be cracked while they're outside. If they're cracked when they're outside, you're falling behind and it's going to be more difficult to 3-star. If your golems both go into the walls as golems, then that's what you're looking for. That means you're off to a good start. So let's say I was coming from he has gold storages all over the place. So if I was coming in with golems, let's say, damn you, Crypt, trying to avoid that. So this might go there, but it might go to either of those mortars. So I don't trust this golem placement necessarily, but to prove what I'm trying to prove here, we'll pretend that those will actually go where they want. So the point I'm making is with this. So that's something where I would certainly consider using a Valk to help with. So we have coverage for wizards. Sometimes I'll put 2 wizards on gold storages. You want to put a wizard. I mean, obviously we got to kill these things too, but wizards out here to take out this and this. That we might get that with it. So yeah, to dig out a building like this, that's going to be the hard part. That's where I just might throw in a Valk to help get this building. Because that's something where if you don't get that and you start to make progress this way, killing that, then by the time you put your kill squad down, if you're using bowlers or Valks or whatever it is, and if this is still alive, then you're screwed. As soon as you place your, what's meant to be your kill squad, they're going to run, and then they're going to run again. Even if you killed this stuff, you wouldn't have killed all the way out here, so they're just going to go around the base. So Got to pay attention to the HP of buildings. If there's some heavy HP stuff, um, adjust to it, put more stuff on it, and it'll help kill it. Um, if you get something, let's see if I can find a reason to use a giant in my kill squad. Here's actually not a bad one to use a giant. Alright, so let's say I wanted to come in from this side. So maybe a golem here and a golem here. I'm trying to avoid this mortar. But I'm also going to want that mortar dead. So I want a funnel, and I want to enter here. And then maybe I'm going to jump here. So this archer tower is covered by that golem. This cannon's not going to be, but that's okay, because with that archer tower covered and the cannon not, that means I can put some minions out here. I can put some wizards here. I can... So this is actually exactly what I wanted. I can get a wizard there. And then this wizard tower is a problem, because that's definitely not going to reach this golem. If you can see which one I'm on, this one right here. It's definitely not going to reach that golem. So, well, let's take care of it. So let's throw another giant up here, or even a hog, with a wizard behind it, and now I can take care of this. Obviously, need an archer up here. But, yeah. I mean, that's really, once I decide where I want to come in, it's a tug of war for deciding on an entry point and a comp. I mean, just realizing that, okay, well, I can utilize down here because, you know, the air defenses are set back. There's no archer towers in this area, so that tells me minions are baby dragons. It's really way off to the flank, so I would only invest some minions out here. But I mean, that's part of the decision-making process when I'm scanning a base to decide on an army comp. If one's not very obvious, and with asymmetrical bases, it's rarely very obvious. So then I start to just do exactly this. I start looking at the coverage of all the defenses and just seeing where I can manipulate things. I'll summarize this in the description, but hopefully it's helpful. I know it's just part of my process when I'm scanning bases, scouting bases, and trying to decide on what the hell I'm doing.